guy talked about God's creation. We all play a part, don't we? We all play a part. I couldn't help but think about the movie industry. I do like movies. May not be a terribly good thing, but I do. And I do try to pick really good movies with moral messages that reflect my belief system or convey a good life lesson. But like life, there are all kinds of characters, as Guy said in a movie. All kinds of characters in life. But who's behind the film? The executive producer? The movie studio that hires all these people? Obviously, the director, and more importantly to all of us who sit in the theater, the players, the small players, the people in the background that use names you'll never know. They're not main characters, but they are characters. Never know anything about their life. They pass by trains, planes, buses, automobiles. They do all kinds of things. They cross a street. You might even hear them and not see them. They're in a crowd, but no one face. You get it? And then the bad guy also in that film, you don't like him so much, and sometimes you do. End up liking the bad guy more than the good guy now these days. In fact, people root for the bad guy. And then there's creatures. There's all kinds of creatures, aren't there? Monsters and ghosts, unseen creatures, fears, extraterrestrials, all kinds of animals. And then the people you like. Some of them are ugly, some of them are pretty. They're women and men, adults and children, foreigners and citizens. And all of these people do things you like and some do things you don't. And you end up taking sides with whichever character reflects you or that you have empathy for. And you don't always like the ending or the outcome, and then you're praying that someone that dies in another film or another episode is resurrected, while you're praying that another one is killed off that seems just won't die. You love to see a battle, and you love to see a victory. And you love to see a love and a romance, but you hate to see a betrayal and a divorce. And we watch those films because it's life, isn't it? It really is, right? It's life. You know the things you cannot control. You see it play out in 2 hours or 1 hour or a 30-minute episode on a screen. And you watch it because it makes you feel a little bit like God. You get to know everything. Because in your life, the same thing is happening, like on that screen, isn't it? And so much of it you relate to. But the part that you forget is the writer. The one who wrote all those lines. The one who wrote the characters. The one who wrote the story. The one who decides who lives and who dies, who's good and who's bad, who's redeemable and who's not. The one who decides, I'm going to bring that character back. And that writer may just give you a glimpse in that one movie, but then he may decide to give you a little more history and give you a backstory. So he'll give you a prequel, an origin story. Or he may fast-pace that story, fast-track it into the future, and you get to see it beyond reality that you live in and reality that the writer has imagined already in his mind. Well, isn't God the writer and the executive producer and the director and the studio? Isn't he the one behind it all, putting it all together? And he's made those decisions. The difference between Hollywood's writers and God, the writer, creator, master of the universe, is that his characters are allowed a little bit more improv, the will, within the framework of the story, of course. Just like in a song, you know the parts, but within the framework of the measure and the melody, you can play around with the voice a little, as long as you stay within the framework. And you also can be judged for how you play along with that melody and the framework. You can't go off time too much. You got to stay within the rhythm. There's other people playing in the band. There's other characters in the film. You got to play off them, not just with them or alongside of them. And in life, we're judged for how we sing together, not just a solo, not just the part that's isolated. We're judged how we walk together. We're judged how we treat the other one and harmonize or in unison with them. If you're not going to be in unison, be in harmony, meaning accent, add to them. Don't sing flat, don't sing sharp. Now, we know that sometimes a bit player, someone who's not so good, plays off the one who's so good. They lean more on the strong character or the strong singer to help keep them in tune. People did that in the choir all the time. And when I first started choir, if I was flat, she would have someone who sings perfect pitch to sing in my ear the same part. Program and get the ear used to hearing what the pitch should sound like. And as long as you're paying attention to what you sound like, so that you know you're off. Sometimes we listen and look at someone else who's better than we are in one area or another, and all we care about is admiring and looking at them, but we don't ever adjust ourselves to actually act like them or be like them or get in tune like them. Actors say it all the time. Acting next to that person made me a better actor. Singing next to that person made me a better singer. Walking with that person, listening to that person made me a better giver, a better prayer, a better lover of God, a better servant, a better friend. And that is a character that is breathing, because unlike the writers for the most part in Hollywood, God has put his real breath in us. Writers do imagine in their head, and they're looking for actors that can animate that image as they have it in their head. That's why sometimes the writer or even the director will go, listen, let me show you how to do that. This is what I'm looking for. And so the Lord sent Yeshua to show us how to do that, how to do this thing we call life. We're the character, how to play it. The Father here. This is what Father wants. This is what he intended. This is how he wants you to act. This is how he wants you to play that part. Let me show you. And then if we do well enough, we can help our brothers and sisters say, here, walk with me, talk to me, listen to me. Let me show you. This is how you do that. This is how you forgive. This is how you love. Let's play the part that God wrote for us. And let's listen to those that can help us be better actors for God.